Hello, I'm Chris Syke. Today I'm going to rant about something nobody asks, nobody cares about except me, but maybe not except me, so I really hope that I'm not alone in this fight, but who knows. My favorite manga. An anime, maybe. Dorohedoro. You haven't heard of it? Go pick it up. Yes, this rant is about my favorite manga and why it is my favorite manga, probably. And maybe convince you to read it or watch the anime. Please watch the anime, it's on Netflix. I'll try to make it short because I can talk about it for hours, but I'll try to be brief. It was made by the great Q Hayashida in 2000. It is supposed to be a seinen, but you could also say it's a shonen because it was later published in a shonen magazine, so who knows. If you don't know, mangas are typically divided into several categories, the main ones being shonen, seinen, and shoujo. It's basically the target audience, with shonen manga like Naruto, One Piece targeting teenagers and young boys, young girls, but shonen means young boy, and shoujo targeting young girls, with shoujo meaning young girl, so yeah. And seinen, well, usually they are for adults. But unlike what we think, seinen is more like a free-for-all, because you have very dark mangas, but also very cute mangas. So really seinen is kind of a in-between. It's like there's not one target audience, because you can enjoy chi as a kid or as an adult, but you cannot probably enjoy MPD Psycho as a kid or as an adult. It's hard to talk about the plot of Dorohedoro without spoiling anything, and I don't want to spoil anything because the story is just amazing. One of the best I've read, to be honest. It's not deep or super complex or super original, but it's just so well made. It's very tight, and it doesn't feel like it was randomly made. It really feels like the author planned ahead and really made a very interesting mystery and story. But I will tell you why I love it so much and why it's my favorite manga. The first thing is the style. I love the art style. It is so unique, and that's personal preference, but I've read tons and tons of mangas in my life, and when I opened it, I was like, wow, what is this? At first, I didn't even like it. I just thought it was very interesting, very rough, very unique. And that's kind of the first thing I noticed about this manga, and I was like, oh, I want to read more. The second thing that I love about it is, well, it looks, sounds, and smells like horror. And if you know me, you know I love horror. It's my favorite genre of all time. But it is not horror. I mean, it is a dark fantasy, I guess, but it is actually a comedy or a slice of life. And when you open the first book, you don't expect that. You expect something very dark and very rough. You don't expect comedy, but it is exactly what it is. The manga is so funny, and it doesn't take itself seriously. It is really my type of humor, and I know it's very personal to each people. I know some people who didn't find the manga funny or the anime, but to me, I was always laughing so much. And it's the contrast between the art style and how dark the world is and the gore, because it is a very gory, violent manga, but I feel like it's not taking itself seriously. It's not for shock value, it's just the style of it. And that's exactly where the humor comes from, is this crazy violence contrasted with how dumb some of the characters and plot points are. I mean, they have an entire chapter dedicated to a baseball game. And that's what I love. You know, the more old I got, the more I enjoyed slice of life type of mangas. Because it's just feel good. It's not complex, you just have a good time, you don't need something crazy, you just want to enjoy something fun but cute at the same time. But I also love horror and comedy. And so you know what I'm trying to say here? Dorohedoro is all of that. And it is even more. Because the story is actually great. It's well crafted. And one of the reasons it is so good is because it is centered on a mystery. You start off with this character who lost his memories, and he has a curse. He looks like a reptilian thing. And his goal is to get his human face back and retrieve his memories. But lots of things happened, and the story grows beyond that and gets super crazy. And one thing that I really appreciate with this manga is that up to the last page, I still loved it. It's so easy to be disappointed when your manga is based on a mystery or something plot related. You have all these theories and turns out, well, the answer is boring or bad, and they were actually just dragging you along, but themselves, the creators, had no idea where it was going to go. Dorohedoro is not like that. But honestly, by the end, you don't even care too much about the mystery, you just enjoy the ride. The humor and the comedy kind of slows down towards the end because it gets more serious and more actiony. It looks more like a shonen, to be honest, with lots of fights and exciting things happening, but in my opinion it still retains its identity as a very non-serious slice of life that you don't expect when you see this dark art style and this dark world with a lot of gore. And I love it. Last thing that I love about this manga, and I have not seen it in any manga so far, I'm sure it exists but I have personally not experienced it, it's the characters and how they are introduced. You know Game of Thrones? I'm sure you do. Everyone did at some point. Well, the thing that people liked about this book and the TV show is the fact that there is no really a villain. Now, sure, there are villains, but if you think about it, it's just people with different perspectives and you can root for someone who is the villain in another person's opinion. And that's because you follow them. I mean, in the books you are inside their head, even like Cersei, who's a villain, but if you want, she can be your main character. You can have her perspective and you can root for her. I don't know why you would, but you can do that if you want, because that's how the book is constructed. Well, Dorohedoro is the same. You follow a group and you think, well, that's a manga, you know, they are the hero, they are the main character, and their enemies are the villains. We're not gonna root for them. Well, turns out we do. Because next chapter, we follow the said villain, we learn their stories and how they act and their goals, and then you like them. Now they are the main characters. So from their perspective, the heroes we previously introduced are actually the villain. And so you, as a viewer, or a reader in that case, can root for everybody. Or maybe you're gonna change your mind and now you like this group more. And you know, this is something that has been done before. Different perspective, different groups, switching back and forth. But in Dorohedoro, it gets crazy, and that's what I love. Because the author really nails it. You really end up rooting for everyone, even the ones that you thought, oh, they are not gonna be redeemed, these are the villains for sure. But what happens is then you start a new chapter from their perspective, and at first you're like, I don't care about this group, they suck, I just want to go back to my main group. But then you read and you actually start to like the characters and you understand their perspectives. And so now you're not bored anymore, you want to know more about them. You forget about the first group and the first group, and then you go back. And you know, this is this back and forth with every perspective and every characters. And at the end, it's so well made because it's a manga that captures the fact that these are just all people. What Game of Thrones tried to do with multiple perspectives, which I think he did well. But in Game of Thrones, I would argue that you can still hate people. They're still villains, even if you're in their head. But in Dorohedoro, I think there is only one thing you can actually dislike, but the rest is just people with different goals, and it's really hard to pick a villain, to pick a bad guy and good guy. You just see different perspectives. And I will be honest with you, the main character and his group is not my favorite one. My favorite group, and I think a lot of people agree, is actually the N band. I love it. I love N. By the way, N is my favorite character. I also really like Noe and Shin, but I think N is my favorite, with Nikaido also. And Kaiman, of course. So yeah, you know, I cannot even pick. I love them all. I love all of them. I don't want them to fight. I want them to all be friends. And yeah, that's why I love Dorohedoro. Because I was kind of tired of this trope of one villain, good guy versus the bad guys. I want something more complex, something more close to real life, where we don't always have a villain, you just have someone doing something you don't like. But from their perspective, they are the main character, they do something that is good and you are the villain or whatever. And this complexity is something I really enjoy in general, and in this manga I think it's done perfectly. Because the strongest element of this manga are the characters. They are so interesting, so likable, so well made, and so complex. Like, you don't feel like they are just throwaways. It feels like they have a story of their own, even if you don't see everything. You just like them, they're just well made. And honestly, I had not seen that in a manga done this well in a very, very long time. So yeah, that's why I like it. The art style, the genre, this being a horror, dark fantasy with a lot of comedy and goofy stuff, silliness, and definitely doesn't take itself seriously at all. The fact that the story is so interesting, based on a mystery that gets resolved right at the end. The lore and world building, which I didn't talk about, but it's also a big thing that I really love. It's its own universe with demons or devils and magic people and humans. Like, you have to see for yourself. It is an actual, very tight and well-made universe, I think. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's really, really enjoyable. I really like the world building. It's very good. I also like that we are not babied in this manga. The story is very complex, and if you miss one book, you're gonna be so confused. But at the same time, it's just fun and stupid and so goofy. And so that's the perfect mix for me, and I haven't seen a manga do this as well so far. So I'm looking forward to the next manga the author is gonna make, and there is already one that I need to pick up. And oh, lastly, I want to say what I also like, and it's very refreshing, is the fact that you don't really have too much fan service. You're not gonna get panty shots. Now, you have nudity, and it can be seen as fan service, like, you know, like sexual stuff, but it's not done in a very obscene way. I don't know how to say, but there is a lot of nudity, I have to say that. And by nudity, I just mean like boobs and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, I was so scared and excited when I saw that it was going to be adapted in anime and released on Netflix. I was like, oh my god, why? And also, yes, please. I waited 20 years. 20 years. I mean, I didn't wait for 20 years, but the manga was already published like 20 years ago before they even did an anime. I had lost hope, but no, they did it. And you know what? It was amazing. I was so scared because, like I said, the art style, the humor, it's so unique. I didn't know if they could pull it off, but they did. They absolutely pulled it off. And I think the anime version is very faithful, but its own art style. And I really like the music, the atmosphere. It is great. It is very good. Obviously, they skipped ahead and removed some parts of it, but it is what it is. I still think the anime is really good. But you know what? It's been, 5 years? Even more maybe? And we don't have a season 2. And I am so sad. And it's really annoying. That's the thing with Netflix. We don't know what's happening behind the scene. They cancel great shows and they keep milking super bad shows. So I'm actually sad that they didn't adapt the rest of the manga. It would have been amazing. But who knows, maybe another studio or publisher will finish the story. I do hope it's gonna happen, but I don't know, maybe I will have to wait another 20 years. Please no. But yeah, this was a rant, and I don't know who cares, but if you haven't seen it and you're interested, you can watch the anime. It's still on Netflix, or even better yet, read the manga, because the manga is better. But both are really good, but if you want the complete story and the complete experience, then the manga is just better. That's it. Para pepi pope, bye.